Sai Ram. Mr Jogneshwar Gogoi has had the pleasure and privilege of serving Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, our Kali Yuga avatar, our dear Swami, as the state president for the northeast Indian state of Assam. He came to Swami in the 1960s and he is a Gandhian who has fought in the Indian freedom struggle, a man of great accomplishments. He studied in London and he had great wealth, all of which he sacrificed in the service of people, in the service of the country, a genuine and wonderful devotee of our dear Lord. Now, how he became a devotee of our Swami is a very beautiful story which has multiple messages and insights for all of us. One very interesting insight that I gained by listening to his story is the answer to the question, why does not Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba come into everybody's lives? Why is it that he seems to be partial to a few and not to everybody? Now, this answer I received when I went through the story of this gentleman. This person has written a book called Compassionate Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. It is unfortunately not available in circulation, but I have my copy. And this incident is not completely narrated even in that book. I got this story from this book called The Golden Age, which was released in 1980, commemorating the 55th birthday of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Now you see, sometime in the 1960s, when Mr Jogneshwar Gogoi and his wife were travelling between Shillong and Guwahati on the road, there was a sudden oncoming vehicle because of which Mr Jogneshwar Gogoi, who was at the wheel, had to swerve his car. The car skidded off the mountain road and started plummeting down into the valley. And the wife screamed out, "Rama, Rama, Rama!" She called out to Lord Sri Rama. But the car was tumbling, and soon both husband and wife lost consciousness. When Mr Gogoi gained his consciousness, he was sitting on the road and he looked to his side. He saw that his wife was also sitting there propped up against a boulder, and she too seemed to gain her consciousness simultaneously along with him. The car, it had plummeted down hundreds of meters below. It was a mangled wreck of twisted metal, rubber and broken shattered glass. It was a miracle how they had escaped unhurt, unscathed, not even a scratch on their body. And he simply could not comprehend how nothing had happened to them. In wonderment and in awe at this amazing lucky chance that life had given them, they proceeded along with life. A few months later, Mr Gogoi had to travel for his work to the city of Bombay, which is today called Mumbai. It was 1968 and he got to know about Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba there because the first world conference, the international conference of the Sathya Sai organizations worldwide was being held at Dharmakshetra in Bombay. Now, curiosity made him travel and go to Dharmakshetra, and he was seated somewhere at the back because there were surging, swelling crowds in 1968. To his amazement, a volunteer, a Sevadal member, comes to him and asks him to come and be seated right in the front. He then says that Swami had given an exact description of how he looked and said that Mr Gogoi from Assam will be there. Please make him be seated right in the front. Oh, how does this Swami know about it? That is what he was struck in wonder with. And he went to the front. What happened next is simply so beautiful, so profound, and definitely a miracle that will make our jaws drop in awe and wonderment. Mr Jogneshwar Gogoi was seated in the first line when Swami came for darshan. Swami comes straight to him and tells him, "Acha, you have come. It is good that your wife called out to me. Otherwise, you both would not have been saved. I came and pulled you out of the car so that nothing happened to you both." And there, Mr. Gogoi had the answer. The answer to how they had survived such a terrible crash. What was the miracle that had played out? The miracle that had played out had been courtesy of Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Otherwise, how could he know and tell all this? And then Swami went on to say, it is not just now. We have met earlier as well. I have saved you a couple of times in the past also. Do you remember the air raid warden? And then, in an instant, there was a flashback in the mind and heart of Mr. Jogneshwar Gogoi. What is this, or who is this air warden that Swami is referring to? For that, we will have to travel back more than 2 decades at this point in time, from 1968, when the Second World War is in progress. At that point in time, Mr. Gogoi was in London. He was studying there as a student, but in order to support himself, in order to help his stay there, he was also working. So studying and working, and at night doing his homework, it was a very, very busy time in his life. And at that point in time, there used to be regular air raids from the German aircraft. They would come flying over the city of London, bombing it every now and then. And therefore, there would be the air raid sirens that would go off. Now, Mr. Gogoi would be, at the end of the day, studying hard before going to bed for a well-earned night's sleep. When the sirens would start sounding, he had to run down from the attic of the home that he lived in the topmost floors of one of the buildings, the 3rd or 4th floor, run down the steps and go to a bomb shelter and wait there, hoping that there would be no bombs that would be dropped onto his home. And this happened night after night. Every night when he is fatigued and just about to go to bed, the sirens will sound, because it's at the time of the night that these bombers would fly over attacking the city. So he would run to this underground bunker and they would be there. Many nights when this happened and he saw that no bombs were actually hitting his building, he thought that he could play with his luck and just stay put one night. After all, they would not be noticing who came, who did not come, because everybody is running for shelter, right? So that night, as he completed his homework, his studies, and decided to go to bed, the siren started sounding, and instead of running down, he just covered his ears, covered himself, and went to sleep. Moments later, there was loud pounding on his door, and a gruff voice called out to him, "Hey, you in there, come out. I know that you are there. Didn't you hear the siren? It is against the law to stay inside. Come out." He tried to be silent and act as if there's nobody in the room there, but the voice outside would not give up. Kept pounding the door, banging against the door. Finally, he got up and meekly opened the door. And there was a towering personality, a British gentleman, and he said, "I am the air raid warden. What are you doing inside? Come out right now." He meekly obeyed and they went down the dark steps, the air raid warden leading the way with his torch and Mr. Gogoi following him. They came out and he led him into a bomb shelter, closed the door and locked it from outside. And he was gone. And that is how that night Mr. Gogoi found himself once again in the bomb shelter. But that night was different from the previous nights, because this time the bombs actually came. They could hear the explosions and a lot of debris even entered this underground bomb shelter. So much so that there was a lot of debris that even covered up this shelter and the door was no longer openable. And the next day they had the rescue workers who had to come and open it up, and all of them came out. And the sight that met his eyes took his breath away, shocked him, because his entire building had been reduced to rubble. The bomb had scored a direct hit to the place he was living. And then he thought how lucky he was that the air raid warden had come and shaken him up and taken him down. He also felt sorry for the air raid warden, because he was sure that he would have perished because he did not enter the bomb shelter. This had happened in the mid-1940s. And as Mr. Gogoi came out of his flashback, Swami tells him, I came to you as the air raid warden, you remember? Dear brothers and sisters, at this point in time, Swami was a teenager. He was not even 20 years of age. He was 17 or 18. And that Swami had traveled around the world, across the globe, in order to save this devotee. And Swami let it be known to him. Needless to say, after this encounter, after this experience with Swami in 1968, Mr. Gogoi became an ardent devotee of our beloved Bhagawan. Now, as I said, this incident is not recorded in his book Compassionate Bhagawan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. It has been revealed by Mr. Al Drucker in the book that I showed you, in an article that he has written. In that he reveals this incident that was told to him by Mr. Jogneshwar Gogoi. Now the interesting thing is, Mr. Al Drucker himself had an amazing experience where, without knowing Swami, he was saved from a terrible air crash. That is another spellbinding incident. And in case, dear brothers and sisters, you don't know about it, please go to this link above and enjoy that experience. I am telling you, it will touch your heart, thrill your heart. It is so beautiful. After experiencing this, Mr. Al Drucker was wondering whether it was really Swami who had saved him in that predicament. And Swami made sure that he was sharing his room with Mr. Jogneshwar Gogoi. And Mr. Jogneshwar Gogoi revealed this whole incident, and that is what was the first confirmation that Mr. Al Drucker received about Swami having saved him. And therefore, while he narrated his own story of being saved in that aircraft crash in this book, he also adds this incident of Mr. Gogoi. Dear brothers and sisters, now coming to that question, why does not Swami come like this into everybody's lives? The answer that I received was, it is not that Swami does not come. It is that we do not recognize. Just like Mr. Gogoi did not know that it was Swami who had saved him in that car crash. Just like he had no clue that the air raid warden was Swami. You know, at that time Swami was just 14, 15, 16 years old. He did not know. Like that, dear brothers and sisters, I am sure if we look back at our own lives, there will be so many instances where we have had miraculous escapes. Maybe we are not even aware that we have escaped, because the Lord does not do this for show. Swami says that his chamatkar or his miracles are not for pradarshana. Pradarshana means show. It is for nidarshana. Nidarshana is to reveal the inward path, to make us become aware of our true selves. It is for that goal that the Lord gives us chamatkar, so that we move from chamatkar to samskar, that is refinement. Samskar to paropkar, that is to serve others. And from paropkar to sakshatkar. In case you are interested in this journey from chamatkar to sakshatkar, there is an elaborate satsang on that at this link above. And that was the answer that I received in my heart, that we all receive Swami's grace. It is only a few of us who possibly explore, examine, and get the joy of discovering. Let us resolve to look deeply into our own lives for those many moments when Swami has stepped in and worked his miracle so silently. Swami would always say that Sathya Sai is a silent worker. Yes. The only few moments when he reveals is to let us know, is to assure us, don't worry, I am there, I am there, I am there, because we are not able to recognize his silent presence, his silent presence. Dear Swami, may we always be aware of your silent presence in our lives. May our eyes and hearts be open to your presence. And may the love that we have for you in our hearts keep growing stronger every passing moment. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.